There was once a traveler who sat beneath a quiet tree, watching the wind move through dry leaves. He sighed and said, "If only luck would find me, my life would change." An old wanderer passing by heard this and smiled gently. He sat beside him and said, "Luck is a word people use when they do not see the roots of their own actions." The traveler looked confused. Then, what changes life if not luck? The old wanderer picked up a small seed from the ground and held it in his palm. "This seed," he said, "does not wait for luck, it waits for conditions. If the soil is right, if the water comes, if the care is given, it becomes a tree. If not, it remains a seed." Life is the same. We often live as if life is something that happens to us, as if we are standing still while fate decides everything. We wait for a moment that feels lucky, a break in the clouds, a door that magically opens. But life does not move by waiting. It moves by action, intention, and the quiet accumulation of cause and effect. Every thought you think is a seed. Every word you speak is a seed. Every action you take is a seed. And every seed does not disappear, it grows. Not always immediately, not always visibly, but it grows into the shape of your experience. This is why waiting for luck is like staring at empty soil and hoping a forest appears. Nothing grows without planting. A person who complains about misfortune while repeating the same choices is like someone who throws stones into a river and expects flowers to float back. The world does not respond to wishes alone. It responds to causes. When anger is planted, conflict grows. When kindness is planted, harmony grows. When discipline is planted, strength grows. When laziness is planted, stagnation grows. Life is not random. It is responsive. Yet, many people misunderstand this. They believe their present situation is a fixed verdict, written by unseen forces. But what you are experiencing now is not a final judgment. It is a reflection of past actions, thoughts, and habits. And more importantly, what you experience tomorrow is still being written today. There is a quiet dignity in realizing this truth. It means you are not powerless. It also means you are not exempt. You are responsible not in a heavy or punishing way, but in a liberating way, because responsibility is the doorway to change. If you do not like the fruit, you do not curse the fruit. You look at the seed. You look at the soil. You look at what you are repeating when no one is watching. Some people call it destiny when life improves. Others call it misfortune when life declines. But both are often looking at the surface, not the process. What is called luck is usually unseen preparation meeting opportunity. And what is called bad luck is often neglected causes finally revealing their effects. There is a deeper rhythm underneath all experience. Intention becomes habit. Habit becomes character, and character becomes destiny. So, instead of waiting for luck to arrive like a visitor at your door, you begin to live as a gardener. You choose what you plant carefully. You water it through repetition. You protect it through awareness. You remove what harms it through discipline. Even small actions matter more than dramatic hopes. A single, honest decision, repeated daily, carries more power than 1,000 dreams left untouched. A single moment of patience can redirect the course of a conflict. A single act of generosity can soften a hardened heart, including your own. But this path is not always immediate in its rewards. That is why many abandon it. Seeds do not become trees overnight. And in that delay, doubt appears. People say, nothing is changing. Yet, beneath the surface, roots are forming. This is where patience becomes strength, not passive waiting, but steady continuation without attachment to instant results. A wise person does not measure life only by visible outcomes. They understand that every ethical action, every mindful thought, every restrained impulse is already shaping the future, even if the future has not yet spoken. And so the question shifts. It is no longer, when will luck favor me, but rather, what am I creating with each moment I am given? Because the truth is simple. Even if it is not always easy, you are always building something. There is no neutral ground. Even in inaction, patterns are being formed. Even in delay, direction is being set. To build your karma is to live consciously, to speak with awareness, to think with clarity. It is to recognize that life is not happening apart from you, but through the continuous movement of your choices. And when this understanding deepens, something changes quietly within. The need to chase luck begins to fade, not because life becomes perfect, but because life becomes understandable. And in understanding, there is calm. The traveler beneath the tree eventually stood up. He no longer looked at the sky, searching for signs. He looked at the ground, at his own hands, at the path ahead, and as he walked forward, the old wanderer's voice lingered like wind through leaves. Do not wait for luck. Walk with awareness. Whatever you plant, you will one day meet as your world. Luck is not the main force behind life. What people call luck is often the result of past actions, habits, and decisions that create future outcomes. Many people spend their lives waiting for luck to change their circumstances. They believe that success, happiness, wealth, or peace will arrive through some fortunate event beyond their control. When good things happen, they call it luck. When difficulties arise, they call it bad luck. Yet this way of thinking often hides a deeper truth. Life is shaped far more by our actions, habits, and decisions than by random chance. Every choice creates consequences, whether they appear immediately or much later. A person who practices discipline every day may seem lucky when success finally arrives. But what others see as luck is often the result of years of effort, patience, and preparation. In the same way, someone who repeatedly ignores responsibility may experience difficulties that appear to be bad luck, even though those difficulties were slowly created through past actions. This understanding does not mean that every event is under our control. Unexpected situations can happen to anyone. However, our response to those situations is always shaping the future. When we act with wisdom, kindness, honesty, and determination, we create conditions that support growth and well-being instead of asking when luck will finally appear. It is more helpful to ask what actions are being taken today. The future is not built by waiting for favorable circumstances. It is built by the countless small choices made each day, which gradually create the life we experience. Tomorrow, every thought, word, and action is a seed. Just as seeds grow into plants, your daily choices grow into future experiences and shape your life. Every thought, word, and action leaves an impression on the mind and contributes to the direction of our lives. Just as a farmer plants seeds in a field and later harvests the crops that grow from them, we are constantly planting seeds through our daily behavior. Some seeds bring peace, wisdom, and happiness, while others lead to confusion, conflict, and suffering. A kind thought may seem small, but repeated often, it develops into a compassionate character. An angry word may last only a moment, yet its effects can continue for years. In the same way, honest actions strengthen trust, while dishonest actions slowly weaken relationships and create future difficulties. Many people overlook the power of small choices because their results are not always immediate. However, every seed follows its own time before it bears fruit. A single positive action may not transform a life overnight, but consistent, positive actions gradually shape a better future. The same principle applies to negative habits. Small acts of laziness, resentment, or selfishness may appear harmless at first, but over time they grow stronger and influence our experiences. Understanding this truth encourages greater awareness in everyday life. Rather than acting carelessly, we begin to recognize that each moment is an opportunity to plant seeds that will eventually return to us. By choosing thoughts, words, and actions wisely, we create conditions for greater peace, growth, and fulfillment in the future. Focus on causes, not complaints. Instead of blaming bad luck, examine the actions and habits that may be creating your current results. When difficulties arise, many people immediately look outside themselves for explanations. They blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for the challenges they face, while external factors can certainly influence life. Constantly focusing on blame often prevents real growth and change. Complaining may provide temporary relief, but it rarely improves a situation. A more productive approach is to examine the causes behind our experiences. Every result has roots, and understanding those roots gives us the power to create a different future. If a person is unhappy with their progress, it is helpful to look honestly at their habits, decisions, and daily actions. If relationships are strained, it may be worth considering whether communication, patience, or understanding need improvement. This process is not about self-criticism or guilt. It is about developing awareness and taking responsibility for what can be changed, by focusing on causes rather than complaints. We shift our attention from what is wrong to what can be improved. This mindset encourages growth instead of frustration. It allows us to learn from mistakes rather than repeat them. Every challenge contains a lesson that can guide future actions. When we stop wasting energy on blame and begin examining the causes behind our circumstances, we become more capable of making wise decisions. Real transformation begins when we look inward with honesty and use that understanding to create positive change in our lives. Patience is essential for growth. Positive actions may not produce immediate rewards, but consistent effort builds strong foundations over time. Patience is one of the most valuable qualities a person can develop, because meaningful growth rarely happens overnight in a world that often expects immediate results. Many people become discouraged when their efforts do not produce quick rewards. They work hard for a short time, see little visible progress, and begin to doubt themselves or abandon their goals altogether. However, lasting success and personal transformation usually require time, consistency, and trust in the process. Just as a seed planted in the ground does not become a tree in a single day, positive actions need time to develop into meaningful results. Beneath the surface, changes are often taking place long before they become visible. Knowledge grows through steady learning. Strong relationships develop through repeated acts of care, and inner peace emerges through continuous practice and self-awareness. Those who understand the value of patience are less likely to be controlled by frustration or disappointment. They recognize that every effort contributes to future outcomes. Even when immediate evidence is lacking, patience does not mean doing nothing or simply waiting. It means continuing to act wisely and consistently without becoming discouraged by delays. It is the ability to remain committed to a worthwhile path despite obstacles and uncertainty. When combined with determination and right effort, patience becomes a powerful force that supports growth, resilience, and long-term success. Build your future through conscious choices, living with awareness, kindness, discipline, and good intentions creates positive karma and a better life path. The future is not created in a single moment. It is built through the choices we make every day. Many people think that major life changes come only from big decisions. But in reality, small and consistent actions often have the greatest impact. Every day presents opportunities to choose how we think, speak, and act. These choices may seem insignificant at the time, yet they gradually shape our character, influence our relationships, and determine the direction of our lives. When we act with awareness rather than impulse, we become more responsible for the path we are creating. A kind word can strengthen trust. An honest action can build respect, and a disciplined habit can lead to long-term success. In contrast, careless choices can slowly create difficulties that become harder to change. Living consciously means paying attention to the consequences of our actions instead of acting automatically. It means choosing patience over anger, understanding over judgment, and effort over excuses. This approach helps create positive conditions for growth and well-being, even when challenges arise. A person